Let's see if this is going to go.
Hey, what's your name?
Michael Clayton. I'm just
Okay, pole box. Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, I mean, it's like, when you're in the pole business.
Okay, hold up. So
Man, that thing is small.
this is my friend Paul Jeffrey from Arbor Gen.
Right.
And you live here in Alabama?
I do.
All right, so we were getting dinner. We got introduced, and then super cool that you're like super passionate about the genetics of trees, man.
Right.
I respect that. And then I was this morning I met with yesterday we met yesterday just during the conference with my friend Michael here. So Michael, you told me that it's super important that Stella Jones what do you guys make? You guys make the poles. Utility poles. So you want them to be, what's the key thing you said?
Right.
They need to be straight.
Clean.
All right, so then we go back to my friend Paul. Paul, to get what he's looking for, what is that? Tell me about the whole process.
So in order to get the straight trees and in order to get the clean trees, no knots, small limbs, because let's face it, large limbs make large knots. Large knots degrade quality, whether it's with saw timber, poles, plywood, anything. So you need small limbs. All of those traits are what we call highly heritable, meaning that they are very easily controlled with better genetics because it's all in the genetics of the tree and it's inheritable from the parents all the way down to the offspring. All right. So I've always said, it's like I've always said, you can take a straight tree, you can take a saw log, you can take a pole, and you can put it into a pulp mill. But you cannot take a pulpwood tree and put it in a pole mill or a sawmill. So you've got to start at the beginning of the rotation with the end in mind. So if your goal is to produce poles, if your goal is to produce saw logs, then you've got to start with that in mind at the beginning of the rotation so that when you're at the end, you've accomplished your goal of producing that higher value product. Because it's like Warren Buffett said, price is what you pay, but value is what you get.
Paul, what I love is like you just go so deep on all this.
So
you just keep preaching it, man. Wait, so hold up. You're not just saying this, man. You're deep into this. Like you studied this. Like you got a PhD.
I'm a timberland owner. I'm a forester. I taught forestry school. I manage my family timberland, and I'm passionate about forestry. So it's all facets of my life.
All right, you're my kind of guy. So we're gonna get along just fine.
But I mean, in all seriousness, that is exactly because the pulp markets are so bad now. Every week I get at least 3 calls from landowners that says, "What's the fewest trees per acre I can plant?" Because they are tired. They are tired of not being able to thin their timber and not be able to sell the pulpwood out of it. I have a family timber stand that I have tried to give the pulpwood away, and they will not come get it.
That's not good. So what's the highest value that you can get
What's
for
the
your
highest level of genetic?
No. So pulp would be lower, and then the pole would be a higher value item. Can you kind of give me the breakdown of?
It all depends on, and Mike can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but it all depends on the area that you're in. It all depends on the area and the markets that you're in. So some areas there's some areas in the United States that have great pulp markets. You get on the coastline of Georgia or you get any of these other areas, even in parts of Alabama, the pulp markets are better than in my area. But in certain areas, pulp is great, but like in my area, it basically has no value. So if I'm going to start my timber stand out, why would I start with the mindset I want to produce something that has no value? Einstein's definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
Oh yeah.
So why would I start out my invest my money into planting something that at the time it's ready to be cut, it has no value? That's ludicrous. So when you start out your timber stand, when you start it at the beginning, you've got to start with a planting density and a product or a genetic that's going to accomplish that. So products, your low product usually is your pulpwood. Your next is your chip and saw, if you have the chip and saw mills. Then you go up to saw timber, and then you go up to poles if you have a pole mill and a pole market.
Poles are even higher the value than lumber.
That's a good question for Mike. So,
In my experience here in Alabama,
Is that right?
what I pay for a pole, that I can get a top with the mill on 20 miles.
Wait, say that again?
For what I pay for poles per ton, I can get them to haul it all the wood to me for X amount of miles, 100 miles, 120 miles.
I got you.
yeah. So the thing with pulpwood is that you can't pay enough for pulpwood for the logger to be able to haul it the distance. I mean, and
All right, Paul. And then, so what do you actually sell? What's the company? What's your product?
I work for Arborgen Inc. and our product, we produce bare root and containerized loblolly pine seedlings with advanced genetics. We also produce hardwood seedlings. We also produce long leaf, short leaf, and slash pine. So we've got products for every management objective.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.